I am a freaking 49er sicko when it comes to the history of this team. Now, I'm not trying to say these two things are on par, but I love metaphors, and I love when history repeats itself. Spadoni, did you know when the 49ers exonerated their ghosts and finally ended up passing the Dallas Cowboys, they had lost in the playoffs to the Cowboys for multiple years in the 70s, and it took a decade for them to exact their revenge. And they finally took out old man Tom Landry. And he would eventually stay for quite some time. And he wasn't finished, but that was like the seminal moment that kind of, boom, marked the line in the sand. And it was like, this is Bill Walsh's time. Tom Landry, you're out of here, right? You're the fax machine. We're the iPhone. That's what ended up happening. It's almost 10 years to the day that the Niners lost to the Seahawks in one of the greatest playoff games of all time and the greatest Seattle sports moment of all time. Joey, if you got the highlight, I want to hear it. Crabtree, I want to hear Sherman, who would eventually come to the Niners. I mean, who would have thought that? You get Pete Carroll again with Geno Smith. You get to see DK Metcalf with that baby pacifier. You get to see Lockett and Kenneth Walker, who's running hard. We get the Seahawks. And in back-to-back years, after the 49ers sweep the NFC West, something they haven't done in feels like forever, they sweep the NFC West. They've got to try to beat an NFC West opponent in back-to-back years 3 times in one season. I can't wait. I can't wait. Where you at? 888-957-9570. Let's go to Dre and Lamore. Dre and Lamore, step right up, no waiting. We got no Bonte. It's Butch, the Bay Area, and you, the 49er faithful. What do you got on the Niners?
Butcher boy, first off, I just got to give you a Niners!
Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. Hey, 10 in a row, not since 97. I'm not sure, was that Steve Young, Garrison Hurst? Is that the year we lost to Atlanta?
Yes, it was the year we lost. That was 98, and Garrison Hurst tore up his ankle. And, the year they lost to the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, okay. Now, like you said, it's 10 years.
His phone's cutting in and out. The Bay Area is super wet this morning. I'm so fired up right now. Where are you at, Niner fans? This is one of the great 49er seasons of all time. I don't know where I rank it right now. But in terms of, like, fighting adversity and excellence, you tell me. I mean, they lost Dre Greenlaw, and I know the defense has slipped a little, and I'm a little worried about the secondary. We can get to all that. You just saw one of the greatest individual defensive performances we've ever seen for an entire year from Nick Bosa. 18.5 sacks, absolutely dominating in the fourth quarter of multiple closeout games in December and January and in November as well. I mean, Nick Bosa put together one of the finest top to bottom seasons I can think of in a 49er uniform. I mean, really, there's the Deion Sanders year. He missed a couple of games because he'd been unsigned. That goes out there. The Navarro Bowman 2013 season is what I would consider one of the all-timers.
Alden Smith.
But you know what I'll say about Alden Smith? And I mean this sincerely. Alden was great, and I'm not denying anything. I didn't think Alden single-handedly changed their defense. Now, he was amazing.
Tandem, him and Justin.
It was, yeah, they had Ray McDonald. They had Ahmed Brooks. Like, I think we've forgotten how great Ahmed Brooks was, personally. Even if you want to say, like, oh, he was more of a co-pilot than he was, like, the top dog. Because he was kind of like an afterthought. But him on the opposite edge, Ahmed Brooks was really good for the Niners. I think he's 3rd or 4th all-time in sacks, which I don't know how many.
Sneaky stat right there.
Yeah, he was also good for a jump off sides every single game. I love Ahmed Brooks, though. 55 was a beast for this team. But yes, Alden's year was incredible. It was absolutely incredible. And he's one of the great woulda, coulda, shouldas in sports. But Nick Bosa, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Like, how many woulda, coulda, shoulda sacks did Nick Bosa have where he was getting held, or the quarterback just threw it away, or somebody else got to the quarterback because of him forcing that guy to step up? I mean, just an all-time season. And I want to go back to Shanahan. 13-4, first in the NFC West. 6-0 in division, which is, it's a remarkable thing. I don't care that the NFC West is going to be down for the next couple of years. Things can change quickly. It's because of Shanahan. The drafting, the acquisitions, the roster they've built he gets so much credit for it. Built it from scratch. They were plus 13 in terms of turnover differential. That's the best that the Niners have been since 2011. Now, forget Brock Purdy, Jimmy Garoppolo, Trey Lance. All right, just forget Forget who the quarterback was. I'm just going to tell you what the 49er quarterbacks did this year. 49er quarterback, generic 49er quarterbacks. 3,900 yards, 66% completion percentage, 3 rushing touchdowns, a 102 quarterback rating, 30 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, 31 sacks. The Niners haven't had an individual quarterback throw for 30 touchdowns since Jeff Garcia. So you're telling me with backups, all right, and Mr. Irrelevant, and who knows what he ends up being, you threw for 4,000 yards, 30 touchdowns, and 9 picks? Kyle Shanahan, I mean, have yourself a season. What a play calling year. And again, I go back to Christian McCaffrey, because to me, that was the moment that the offense completely opened up. And look at what George Kittle did this year, guys, gals, Bay Area. Look what George Kittle did this year. 11 touchdowns. Basically, he eclipsed what he had done the last 3 seasons combined in 1 year in terms of touchdown targets. What did we all want? I want Kittle to touch the ball in the red zone. I want them to score more touchdowns. Check, check. Almost 13 yards a catch, 765 yards this year, 60 catches, just dynamic efficiency. And it's all started with the run game. They ran for almost 2,500 yards this year. They basically averaged 140 yards on the ground per game. Look what they did with a rookie left guard in Burford, with a guy, Jake Brendel, who I thought was just too small, couldn't play the center position. Look what they did with Aaron Banks, and hopefully he can get right for the playoffs, a guy who didn't play at all last year. Look what they did with the much-maligned Mike McGlinchey and all-world Trent Williams. They dominated. They only gave up 30 sacks.
Should he be the coach of the year?
I mean, look, we can argue what your criteria is. The fact that he's even in the conversation, to me, speaks to how great of a year he had, because when people do when they do the math on who the coach of the year is, oh, well, they were already a good team. And
totally
look at their
narrative-based.
roster.
Totally
exactly.
narrative-based.
Look what he did. Again, their quarterbacks combined, all right? 30 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Only took 31 sacks. Threw for 4,000 yards and had a 102 quarterback rating. I mean, what else do you want this guy to do? All right? Brandon Ayuk, all right? Brandon Ayuk. Balling. 1,000-yard receiver, okay? This is Brandon Ayuk's season this year. 114 targets, 78 catches, 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns.
That Purdy connection is real, by the way.
Oh.
He looks for him constantly. That is a safety valve. Kittle gets all the credit because he gets the touchdowns.
Of course.
But the Ayuk-Purdy connection, it's special.
Look, I'm here for it. It's Seahawks week. 10 years ago, we lost to this team this way, Joey.
Kaepernick, end zone, Crabtree, broken up, picked off. This game is over. Knocked in the air, intercepted by Smith. Off the hands of Richard Sherman.
I mean, that happened in January of 2014. It was the 2013 season. We're in 2023. And we get an opportunity to knock out Pete Carroll and the chewing of the gum, the guy who didn't want to be 49er coach in 2005. The guy who came to Candlestick and ate turkey on the 50. The guy who chews gum and has a Super Bowl that you don't have. The guy who's rebuilt that team and has them back in the playoffs. And they've had a phenomenal year. I mean, I take a step back. As much as I hate Seattle, you can respect the kind of year. This was one of those years Pete cemented himself. I'm an all-time legend. I won a national championship. I've won a Super Bowl. And I've done it with multiple quarterbacks in terms of rebuilding the situation. I gained so much respect for Pete Carroll. And if you don't think they don't want to come in and play spoiler to Levi Stadium in the soaking rain this Saturday at 1:30, you are tripping. All right, now I know we got people lined up. 888-957-9570. I got an open slot for you. I got the YouTube chat absolutely going fire. Seahawks Niners, Saturday, 1:30, Levi Stadium. Bring your hard hat. Bring your raincoat. This one's going to be ugly. And you better bring Christian frickin' McCaffrey, because that guy is an all-time 49er legend already. Now let's get about Brock Purdy. Are you kidding me?
Oh,
Brock Purdy? Are you kidding me? Niner faithful, where are you at? Niners Hawks this Saturday, 1:30. It's 95-7 the game.